You're listening to Turi Ryder's She Said What podcast. I'm Turi, along with Marcy Persky. Once we find our cell phones, we get right down to business. The business of eating dirt, the business of proving to ourselves that that movie really did suck, and the business of smuggling avocados. Do you know of any more helpless feeling than losing your phone?
Tell me about it.
I was running up and down the street, looking in my front yard. I'm emptying out pockets in my coat, and I turned off the ringer, and I guess I forgot to turn it back on.
If I ever did that, I would be dead in the water because my phone's lost at least twice a day. I'm asking Frankie or Eve or somebody to call me so I can find my phone.
I think probably 3/4 of the calls made to my phone are by people trying to help me find my phone. It's very embarrassing. I never really cared about those mitten clips that they would make you wear when you were a little kid. But I feel like I need some kind of phone version of a mitten clip.
I need like something, maybe a magnetic implant that like sticks it to your wrist.
Didn't that come with your COVID vaccine? The chip, the magnetic implant?
That's too high up on the arm for the phone.
When I was clearing out the home of my friend who had died, I found these super strong magnets. And apparently they're illegal because they're really tiny and they're super strong, and kids were eating them and magnetizing their guts together.
Cool.
Can you imagine?
Well, have you seen, there's a cartoon movie, I think it's Pixar or Disney, Big Hero 6. And it's about science and all this weird stuff. But one of the things are these little magnets, and somebody invents them and they get into forms and do things. And they're the little tiny ones that kids, I guess, eat and stick their guts together with.
They scared me.
See, I have a problem with that.
That it scared me?
That they outlaw stuff because little kids might be stupid.
Oh, no, these are definitely, they look just like candy. Like,
but then you keep them away
tiny.
from your little kids.
I don't know. I think they're so small that if you even drop 2 or 3,
why would you drop them?
Well, they're hard to drop, actually, because they stick together.
It's just like they outlawed lawn darts because people kept like throwing these giant dart things into people's heads. And I'm like, if you can't aim, don't play it.
I think that's a YouTube problem. Besides, if you got a lawn dart sticking out of your head, somebody's going to notice pretty quickly and get you some help. But if you swallow these evil little magnets, you might not figure out what's wrong with your kid until it's way too late. Ugh, it's just grisly. I can't even stand to think about it. But normally I am with you 100%. Like, if your kid can eat a Lego, then put the Legos away.
Yeah,
but these,
don't give them Legos.
These things were so tiny that you'd have a hard time putting them away. Even though I remember as a child, we got revenge on my mother, not on purpose, with this particular toy that we had. I know I've mentioned it before. It had these little plastic stars that you had a point that you could stick into a pegboard, and the point was really pointy, and you never got them all put away. And your mother would come downstairs, and you'd hear her this screaming because they were rather sharp, pointy things. So, yeah, I think that this works both ways, the safety problem.
I also think I was one of those kids that like put everything into my mouth till I was like maybe 25.
Yeah, they would have.
I mean, there's still stuff I look at that I want to taste.
Really?
Yeah.
That reminds me, there's a show that I've been watching where somebody's pregnant, and it supposedly takes place several centuries ago, and it's a dark humor show. And every time you see her, she's eating dirt the whole time she's pregnant. And she keeps asking people for dirt.
Can I just say, though, that people did eat dirt back then and nobody died from it?
I seem to remember reading that a lot of people, when they're pregnant, crave eating dirt. They have a name for it even. And they have lots of theories about it, but nobody's exactly sure why. When I was pregnant the first time, they gave me this big bottle of prenatal iron and vitamins and special prenatal vitamins. And nobody bothered. You know how when you get a bottle of medicine and there are all these warnings and disclaimers and things that you think, okay, fine. There's 6 pages of disclaimers. If it's really this bad, please don't prescribe it for me. But the prenatal vitamins, nobody bothers to tell you, have a piece of toast or you will puke your guts out.
Oh, well, I couldn't swallow them. I some of these vitamins and supplements are as big as a computer mouse.
Yeah, some of them really
And
are.
yeah, I cannot swallow them no matter how hard I try, no matter how much water. That's my so whenever now I buy chewy vitamins that you chew up and swallow.
Because we're not
But
really all that grown up.
and they're delicious.
I can just
And they
see
look
you
like little magnets.
parked in front of the TV with like, what happened to the vitamins? Oh, mom ate them for a
I've
snack.
ate them all.
Yeah, I could see
So I
that.
wonder back in the dirt days though, if babies were born with like little flowers and weeds coming out of their heads from the dirt. Groot. I am Groot.
I'm missing that one
Oh,
altogether.
you never saw Guardians of the Galaxy?
I'm not a big watcher of things. I'm sorry.
It's a good movie.
Once in a great while. I have tried to watch movies that I supposedly should watch. Have you ever had this happen where there's a list of books you're supposed to have read or movies that you really are supposed to have watched? On my vacation in Arizona, it turned out that none of us had seen that post-apocalyptic movie Blade Runner. The movie was Blade Runner.
Oh, I haven't seen that either.
I had never seen it, and I it keeps turning up as a cultural reference all over the place. So we all gathered round with our popcorn and a big TV screen to watch the movie. And for the life of us, first of all, it's deliberately dark. It's so dark that you can't actually see anything.
Yeah, I don't like those.
And it was a toss up as to whether we should opt for the subtitles because we couldn't hear what they were saying, or if we should opt for the descriptions for the visually impaired because it was so dark we couldn't see what they were doing. And while you're watching, you're thinking, why is this movie a cult classic? What was it? What is it that has made this movie turn up on everybody's lists until this day? You have this moment of thinking, I must be crazy. I'm the only person in the world who has a profound dislike for the movie. But the lucky break is if you watch a truly terrible movie with your friends and all of you detest it. It's a really, 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 really good feeling when after the movie is over, all of you look at each other and go, that movie sucked. And there are four of us who say so.
Well, I don't really like post-apocalyptic movies, but I do like the Marvel superhero movies. I love Guardians of the Galaxy and all the Avenger movies. I like it. I need mindless stuff. I think too much anyway.
That's true. You're a big thinker. Speaking of too much, other than gasoline, what is the inflation thing that is bothering you, if any? Is there something? Because I've got two things that are really annoying me.
Bermuda grass,
Oh,
cat food, and dog food.
those
Feeding
all
my animals
those all went up a lot, huh?
a lot. Yeah.
Huh.
Yep. Feeding the animals, which is, I mean, they're still going to get fed, but I did switch to a cheaper but still high quality dog food because it went up to like $80 a bag, and I have three dogs.
Wow. Yeah, I can't claim that I have any kind of humanitarian complaint. I just I just got a note that the cost of a haircut went up 20%. I'm like, dude, 20%?
Did
No,
the cost
thank
of
you.
scissors go up?
It kind of makes me want to buy one of those like DIY home scissor kits. I don't, or let my kid have a whack at me, or
The Flowbee
yeah, the
that you plug into your
Flowbee.
vacuum machine.
I remember that. I can't even imagine what a Flowbee would do to me.
I mean,
A horrible
well, I'll
thought.
be walking around with buzz cuts like in the 60s.
Just wear a wig. And then the other thing that really bothered me, and it's not so much inflation. Apparently, we got into an avocado snit with Mexico. So, did you hear about this?
No, because we get avocados from California here.
Well,
I,
the price will go up anyway because they're not coming in from Mexico. And so there's a shortage. So here I love this about America. The things that we take immediate action on are so esoteric. Like we've had weapons and drugs coming over the border from Mexico and slaughtering Americans for how many years now? But
Are you asking me to smuggle avocados?
not yet, although it may come to that. So for years, like there's been blood and gore and violence and
Right.
mayhem along the border. But someone threatened a USDA inspector at an avocado packing concern. And the United States said, okay, no problem. We're just not importing avocados from Mexico anymore. That's it. Apparently, the new mafioso racket, the new
Yeah,
cartel
cartels.
that the Mexicans are making big money with, right up there with guns, drugs, human trafficking, and slaughter, is now with avocados.
I'm imagining them being catapulted over the wall.
There's a thought. I'm imagining them having to train up a whole new squad of sniffing dogs. They've got bomb dogs, they've got drug dogs. They're going to have now the avocado dogs. And that is not going to be the in-demand law enforcement gig, I'm pretty sure. I mean, there's got to be some cachet that goes with tracking down illegal human smugglers or drug smugglers or gun smugglers, but there cannot be a lot of bragging rights that go along with, yeah, I busted a big shipment of contraband avocado today. That's not going to get you too much mileage in the break room, I have a feeling.
I just threw away 2.
Oh
Actually,
no.
last night.
They
Yeah.
went bad, did they?
Yeah, they did.
Avocados go bad in the strangest way.
They
Like,
go bad quickly.
but they go bad in a strange way. Like if a fruit, like a tomato, will rot and get moldy, and onions will sprout fuzzy stuff and get kind of flat and ooze liquid. But avocados, what they do is they grow little fibers in themselves, and you slice one open and you think, huh, it has a circulatory system. Look at that.
Mine were like dark and squishy, so I didn't even slice them open.
Yeah. They were past the guacamole point then, were they?
But they were definitely past the anything point, and I put them in the refrigerator thinking maybe they'll get hard again. And Frankie opens the refrigerator. He said, what is this? I said, well, they're squishy avocados that might get hard again. He threw them away.
Did he make a
along with the bananas?
rude
that were in
joke?
there
Well, you
for
could
the-
feed them to the goats. They would like your squishy avocados.
I don't know. My goats are picky eaters.
Well, try them on an avocado. It is my belief that everything that has any kind of good sense in the world will eat an avocado.
Well, I'm gonna have to look that up to make sure they're not poisonous.
I somehow have trouble believing that an avocado would poison anything at all. But I could be wrong.
You never know.
I could be wrong.
Oh,
It could
which
be right up there
reminds me.
with super strong magnets. Thanks for listening to Turi Ryder's She Said What podcast. If you'd like to do us a great favor, please leave us a good review wherever you hear this podcast. You can follow us on Instagram at Turi Ryder's She Said What. And you might also enjoy my book, She Said What? A Life on the Air, which you can find any place you buy your books or on Amazon.